The 2026 MLB Draft has come and gone, and one of the most talked about selections was UCLA shortstop Roch Cholowsky. And not just because Rob Manfred completely botched pronouncing his name.
Roch Cholowsky, a shortstop from UCLA.
Chowolsky was selected by the Chicago White Sox with the #1 overall pick, joining Garrett Cole as the only UCLA players to be selected with the top pick in the MLB Draft. Chowolsky is also the first player the White Sox have selected #1 overall since they drafted future Hall of Famer Harold Baines with the top pick in the 1977 MLB Draft. It's easy to see why Chowolsky was such a popular prospect heading into the draft. Across 3 seasons with the UCLA Bruins, Chowolsky batted .329 with a 1.071 OPS with 52 homers and 167 RBIs. As a sophomore in 2025, Chowolsky was awarded the Baseball America College Player of the Year award. He also helped propel the Bruins to their first College World Series appearance since 2013. In 2026, Chowolsky was one of 3 finalists for the coveted Golden Spikes Award. And now, Chowolsky goes to an organization that is actually somewhat deep at shortstop. Current MLB starter Colson Montgomery finished top 5 in AL Rookie of the Year voting last year, and is putting up an even better season in 2026 at just 24 years old. The organization's top prospect is also a shortstop, their 2024 second-round pick Caleb Bonnemer out of Okemos High School. With this position seemingly secure for the organization, it'll be interesting to see how the White Sox handle Cholowsky's development, and if they eventually move him to a new position to allow him to crack the big league lineup sooner. So today, we're doing a full career simulation to see how this is going to go. We'll be simulating Cholowsky's entire career to see if he'll live up to the hype, or if the White Sox will once again derail the career of an aspiring prospect. Before we get into the video, if you enjoy these career sims, make sure to leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel for more videos, and let me know in the comments which 2026 MLB Draft pick you want to have a career sim for next. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. What is up, guys? Welcome back into the channel. I'm Brandon Satterwhite, and the MLB Draft has officially concluded, and we are now going to be doing a career simulation for the #1 overall pick in this year's MLB Draft. Roch Cholowsky, the shortstop out of UCLA, was taken with the #1 overall pick by the Chicago White Sox, and he is already in the game through a roster update. He is a 20-year-old prospect, #1 prospect in all of baseball with a potential, really good fielding stats, great arm, good enough speed. The hitting stats aren't there yet, but they'll come along through the time in the minors. So we're going to be simulating his entire career and see how it goes. The only thing I'm worried about is I've tried this simulation a couple of times now, and Colson Montgomery's here. He's 24 years old, 84 overall. He's not going anywhere. He's under team control for a long time. Miguel Vargas, 80 overall, 26 years old. He progresses very well in simulation to where he's hitting, 35, 40 homers a year. He's also under team control for several more seasons. Second base is a little bit better. You have Chase Mydreth. He doesn't usually progress as well, but he is still under team control, and usually the White Sox go out and trade or sign a second baseman. That's really good. So, it is hard to find Roch playing time, I have found, in this simulation. But we're going to try it again. I have some ways to, kind of help us if, things aren't going well. But we're going to simulate. He's going to start off down in AA, and we're just going to simulate and see how the first half of his first year in the minors goes. All right, halfway through Roch's first season down in the minors, he's already up to a 68 overall. He has a 687 OPS, a 260 batting average through 44 games, and it doesn't look like there's really much opportunity for him in the bigs. Probably going to take him at least the rest of this season, if not into next season, before he's ready to come up to the big league level. So in Roch's first season down in the minors, he went up from a 66 to a 70 overall. Hitting stats didn't take a huge leap. He played 60 games, had a 678 OPS, 335 on base, 256 average. So a decent jump in overall. I don't think it's going to do much to help him start next season. So I think he's going to need at least another year down in the minors before he's ready for big league action, I think. The start of season 2, Roch is still in AAA, 21 years old, 70 overall, still has a potential. So still plenty of time to develop and make it up to the big league level. And it does look like second base might be his best bet to play sooner rather than later, but we'll keep an eye on that. So midway through season 2, Roch has been awful down in the minors. He's gone up 2 overall to a 72, but he's been hitting 183 with a 523 OPS. He has 70 strikeouts in 80 games. He has just been terrible this season. I don't know what's going on with him, but it has not been pretty. Hopefully he can turn it around in the second half. So at the end of his second season in the minors, Roch only went up 3 overall. He's a 73 overall now at 21 years old. He's now dropped down to the number 3 prospect in the league. A potential still, but 130 games hitting below 200, a 538 OPS, 114 strikeouts. Very, very rough year for him in terms of his development. Still nowhere near big league ready, I feel, at this point. Okay, so it looks like the White Sox are selling. They're trading Chris Bubich, who they signed last offseason, as well as Josh Hader, who they traded for in year 1, along with Brian Hudson, for Carson Williams, a 78 overall shortstop, a first base prospect, and a second base prospect, both with B potential. So that changes things for Roch at 22, because now you've got 2 shortstops in front of you. You've got Miguel Vargas over at third, along with Max Muncy, and then at second you have Chase Mydrith, as well as this 19-year-old prospect. So things aren't looking good for Roch, man, in terms of being blocked within the organization. They still have him set as an untouchable, so it doesn't look like they plan to trade him anytime soon. Hopefully he can develop a bit more next season, and then we'll see what happens. All right, start of season 3, Roch is still in AAA, 73 overall, A potential. Let's see if he has a bit of a better season than he did in season 2. All right, midway point of season 3 here, and Roch is in AAA, only 50 at bats. Carson Williams is also in AAA. He's gone up to a 75 overall from a 73. He has an 841 OPS. He made his major league debut this year. He played 15 games up in the bigs, had 2 homers, a 300 average, a 787 OPS, put up .4 WAR, and it looks like the White Sox went out and got Bryson Stott at second. They brought in Bryson Stott, who's playing very well at second. Also, they have Chase Mydrith. So really not much of a path for Roch here with the White Sox at 22 years old. Still listed by the organization as untouchable. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets much more playing time anytime soon. And Carson Williams has been traded as part of a blockbuster deal with the Angels to get Brandon Marsh, Logan O'Hoppe, and Patrick Sandoval. Roch is now shortstop 2 on the organizational depth chart, it looks like. That whole Carson Williams deal didn't last very long. So at the end of his 3rd season in the minors, Roch played 57 games, hit .251, had a 722 OPS, so much better than last year. Went up from a 73 to a 77. Still has a potential. Did make his big league debut. Interesting to see. I think this offseason is going to be big, because if they keep everyone at their current infield positions, there's really no spot for Roch. Okay, big development here. Sean Burke and Miguel Vargas have been traded to the Orioles for some prospects, it looks like, which leaves third base kind of open. There's Max Muncy there. Honestly, I think if we move Roch over to third, I think he's got, well, he goes down to a 75 over there. But I think that gives him the clearest path right now to try and make a move to start in the big leagues. All right, so going into year 4, Roch, now over at third, is a 75 overall, A potential, behind only Max Muncy, who's a 79. So if he doesn't play well, Roch's got a shot to become the starter this season, I feel. All right, midway point of the season, let's go see how Roch is doing. So he's still in the minors. He hasn't played in the bigs this season. He's played 82 games down there, has a 274 average for 332 on base, 707 OPS. 4 home runs, 28 RBIs. The fielding is just incredible, man. The hitting is coming along. Contact against lefties is up above 60, which is nice to see. I mean, really, at this point, it's pretty close to him being in the majors, I feel. We'll probably see him some point later this season, I feel. Okay, another development. Chase Mydrith just got traded to the Mariners for Anthony Siegler and Jose Caballero. There's another shortstop and another second baseman on the team. Bryson Stott's still here. He's got several more years here. He signed an extension. Good grief. So yeah, second base is locked up. We're not going to be able to play there. Max Muncy's actually having a phenomenal season, and so is Colson Montgomery. So, not really much room for Roch at this point. So at the end of season 4, Roch had like a pretty decent year, went up from a 75 to a 79 now as a third baseman, but has not gotten back up to the big leagues. He's now 23 years old. He had a 735 OPS down in the minors this year, 11 home runs in 132 games. Yeah, I just don't know if there's any path for him with this organization, and if he, needs to request to be traded somewhere where he can actually, do something. Also, the White Sox won 102 games this year without him. So, like, they're not needing him right now. And he's still listed as untouchable, so they don't plan to trade him anytime soon. So he may just sit in the minors and kind of rot at this point, especially since Max Muncy, had a really good season, 105 games, a 302 average, a 927 OPS. There's just nowhere for Roch to go. Okay, so looking at the team here, Bryson Stott's still here. Roch and Max Muncy are the only two third basemen. They went out and signed Dansby Swanson to a 1-year deal, and Colson Montgomery's still here and had hit 39 homers in 128 games last year. I don't know what's going on, but at the start of the year, Roch is on the big league roster for the first time now at a 79 overall as a 24-year-old, a potential. So he's in the bigs now. He's a big league player. He's not going back down to the minors, hopefully. So we'll see how he does in his first full season in the bigs. So Roch is now an 83 overall, went up from a 79 to an 83, played in 42 games, hit below 200, had a 519 OPS, and right at even on WAR. Meanwhile, Max Muncy only went up 1 overall, but had an 850 OPS, 31 homers, and was an all-star for the first time. So curious what they'll do there at third base moving forward. But the White Sox are the 2 seed in the American League, so they're going to be taking on Boston. And I'm curious, is Roch starting? No, he is not. So he is the backup third baseman on the playoff roster. So the White Sox have won the ALCS. They're taking on the Braves in the World Series. They lose game 1. I'm curious, has Roch played? He's got no at-bats in this, but his team's in the World Series. He's on a World Series roster right now. They're down 3-0. They win a game, so they win 3 straight, game 7. So the White Sox come back from down 3-0 to win the World Series. Roch got exactly 0 at-bats in the entire playoffs, but he's got himself a World Series ring now. He rode the bench to a World Series with the White Sox, which is crazy. So at the start of season, what is this, 5, 6? Start of season 5, I believe. No, this is the start of season 6. Yeah, start of season 6. Roch is still on the bench because this White Sox team is really, really good. So I don't see him starting. He is still marked as an untouchable. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove him as an untouchable and see if he gets dealt at some point this year. We'll just see what happens with him. All right, midway point of the year, the White Sox are doing terrible. They're 10 games back in the division after winning the World Series last year. Roch has been playing a good bit. He's played 58 games this season. He's hitting 231 with a 666 OPS. Hate that. 5 home runs. He's got 1.3 WAR over at third. He's gone up in overall, and he is currently starting at second for this team. So he's currently the starting second baseman. Colson Montgomery is still the starting shortstop, even though he's regressing down to an 82 at 29 years old. Dansby Swanson also regressing, so Roch could probably eventually move back to shortstop. Max Muncy continuing to kill it over at third. So after winning the World Series last year, the White Sox barely come back to make the playoffs. 1 game back in the AL Central as a wild card team. And Roch over as, I'm guessing, still the second baseman? Yeah, no, Bryson Stott's there. The Roch is back on the bench now, but against lefties, he's the third baseman, and Max Muncy moves to second. Interesting. But in his first real season, getting a lot of playing time, he played 102 games this year, 17 doubles, 11 homers, 29 RBIs, a 248 average, 317 on base, 707 OPS, 2.5 WAR, went up from an 83 to an 86 now at 25 years old. So I think he's finally established himself as a starter on this team. And the White Sox win the wild card round, moving on to the divisional series against Baltimore. And it's going to come down to a game 5, and they lose that. So they lose in the ALDS to Baltimore as the Mariners go on to win the World Series. But I think we finally gotten to the point now where Roch is, as Mike Trout goes into the Hall of Fame with 563 career homers. Roch is very much, he's the third best player on the team now. He's very much, a starter on this team. And we kind of have to decide, do we want to move him back to to shortstop. So if we move him to shortstop, he goes up to an 88 overall. So I think we are going to put him back at shortstop, his natural position now at 26 years old. And he's finally going to get to be the Chicago White Sox shortstop after all these years. So going into Roch's age 26 season, he is the best player on this team now. So there's been a lot of regression, a lot of turnover from that World Series winning team. Murakami's still putting up a ton of homers. Bryson Stott's still here. He's 34 though. Max Muncy was doing really good last year still. Dansby Swanson's here. What happened to Colson Montgomery? Did they let him walk? But Colson Montgomery's a free agent still at 82 overall after hitting 36 homers last year in 139 games. Yeah, so is Willy Adames. Corey Seager's a free agent. And he's sitting on 399 career homers. Oh, that sucks. Colson Montgomery, he wants $15 million a year. That sucks, man. But Roch Cholowsky is now the starting shortstop for the Chicago White Sox, playing second when against lefties, because they bring in Dansby Swanson because he's really good against lefties. We haven't hopped into any games yet with Roch, so I kind of want to hop into his first start now as sort of the face of the franchise. I know he bats 8th, but he's the best player on the team. I want to hop in and play with him a little bit. So here we go. Roch Cholowsky over at short, the opening day shortstop, his first opening day start for the White Sox. We get a ground out there. Drew Burris up. Dustin May is our opening day starter, by the way, as we're going to get another ground ball hit to us. Easy scoop. Throw over to first to Murakami, and that ends the first inning. We should come up to bat. We do not come up to bat in the second. Man on first, one away here. Leo DeVries at the plate for the Athletics as we're going to try and turn 2 here. 3-6, back to 3, and that ends the inning. Nice double play turn there. And here we go, our first at bat with Roch. And we are facing Cam Schlittler, by the way. Was with the Yankees for several years, got traded to Kansas City, and now has signed a fat contract with the Athletics, it would seem. A one-time All-Star, so he hasn't done like crazy good like he is in real life. Oh, fouled off. I'm just late on these. And swing and a miss on the 101 mile an hour fastball to strike him out. On the ground here, gonna try. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Why did I throw? I just threw the first instead of throwing the second. We got an at-bat here in the 5th going up against Cam Schlittler on the mound for the Athletics. 2 outs, nobody on. We swing at a high cutter there for the first strike. Need to get something going here as we're down 4-0, and there we go. A nice swing on the sinker right down the middle, and that's gonna fall into shallow center field for a base hit for Roch, his first of the season. And they're wanting me to steal here, and we're going to. Here we go. It's in the dirt. I think we got a shot. Yep, we've got our first stolen base of the season here for Roch Cholowsky. This game's kind of gotten out of hand now. 9-1, we trail it in the top of the 8th. Man on first, no one away as we get a good hit on that one into right field, but right at the right fielder for the out. So not an awful day. We did go 1 for 3 with a strikeout, but we end up losing 9-1 to the Athletics as Jackson Holliday has 2 homers on opening day. Jacob Wilson also homers for him. Yeah, everyone seemed to be doing pretty good for the Athletics there. So let's go ahead and simulate this season and see how Roch does. So at the midway point of the season, Roch is now up to a 90 overall at 26 years old. Through 95 games, 24 doubles, 13 homers, a 276 average, 795 OPS, 3.8 WAR already. And Max Muncy has been traded away. So the guy that we were battling with for a couple of seasons for the third base position, now that we move back to short, he gets traded away. But at the end of the year, the White Sox won 85 games, end up missing the playoffs, 4 games back in the Central, and then 1 game back in the wild card. Roch is now up to a 91 overall, up from an 88. Played 158 games at short, 35 doubles, 3 triples, 25 homers, 76 RBIs, 13 stolen bases, a 254 average, 754 OPS, 4.9 WAR, and he won his first Gold Glove Award over at short, which makes sense because, I mean, look at those fielding stats. Arm strength and accuracy, fielding ability are all just so incredible. If the bat comes along, he's going to be an MVP candidate, I think. And Mookie Betts and Aaron Judge both go into the Hall of Fame as Judge finishes with 565 career homers. So the start of, what is this, his 4th season of MLB service, but I guess he was here in 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 33, 31, 32, 33. So this is season 8 of this simulation. Roch is at a 91 overall, best player on the team. There's also Satchel Crawford, who was also drafted in the first round in the 2026 draft, a potential 91 overall. Braden Montgomery's here, Noah Schultz is here. After that, it falls off a lot. So this isn't a great team, but we'll see if Roch can lead them back to the playoffs, hopefully. Okay, big trade here as the White Sox trade Bryson Stott, who's been, a very, very good player for several seasons here, along with Munetaka Murakami, who is starting to regress, but has been a very good player, and Cody Bellinger for this really good B potential prospect and a third baseman. So midway point of 2033, Roch is still the best player on the team. He's up to a 93 overall, got 16 homers, an 860 OPS, and already 4.5 WAR on the year. All right, so the White Sox lost 89 games this year. Roch went all the way up from a 91 to a 94, so still progressing at 27 years old. The power against lefties went up big time from 51 to 60. He played 156 games, 34 doubles, 6 triples, 22 homers, 8 stolen bases, a 280 average, 352 on base, 813 OPS, 6.4 WAR, and his second straight Gold Glove award. Yes, this White Sox team is definitely selling as they just traded Braden Montgomery, Corey Lee, and a couple other good players for more prospects. So they're going heavy into a rebuild here. And Roch, I think, has 2 years left of arbitration. Yeah, so 2 more seasons. He'll have this upcoming season and then 1 more season of arbitration. And then he's a free agent. So the question is, will he want to stay long term with the White Sox? He did win a World Series with them while he was sitting on the bench. But will he want to play, the rest of his career trying to kind of help with a rebuild? Or will he want to go where he can compete? Here we go. Start of season 9. Roch is at a 94 overall. One of the best fielding shortstops in the league on a very bad White Sox team. You've got Crawford, who's a 93, Roch, who's a 94, and then the next highest player is an 82 overall first baseman. So team definitely going through a rebuild. How long is Satchel here? So he's on the same timeline as Roch. Okay, so they'll both be free agents after next season. All right, end of season 9. Roch is all the way up to a 97 overall, killing it. Played 157 games, 34 doubles, 22 homers, 75 RBIs, a 281 average, 810 OPS, 6.5 WAR again over at short. His third straight Gold Glove award. However, the team finished dead last and lost 85 games. So been a rough few years in terms of winning for the White Sox since Roch became the starting shortstop, but he is performing phenomenally. They just haven't been able to surround him really with any sort of actual talent, as J-Ram and Ohtani both go into the Hall of Fame. And the White Sox haven't been doing really anything in free agency. I haven't seen any big signings from them. I've been checking. There's just nothing going on with the White Sox. They aren't really doing anything. So we're going into season 10. Roch is a 97 overall, and this is his last year under contract. He's a free agent after this year. So is Satchel Crawford. This team is not very good, so I wouldn't be surprised if Roch decides to leave after this year. And as we approach the trade deadline, both Satchel Crawford and Roch are both on the trade block for the White Sox, so they're looking to move them. They are not planning on re-signing them, it seems. They're looking to see what they can get, because the White Sox have been bad. They've been selling for a number of years. They sell every year at the deadline here lately. So I fully expect either Roch or Satchel to get traded here. The trade deadline passes and both Satchel and Roch are still here. Roch's had a bit of a rough season, but Satchel's been phenomenal. But it looks like they'll both be with the White Sox this season as they're on the path to losing about 100 games. And then they'll be free agents after this season. The White Sox do lose 92 games this year in season 10. Roch goes up from a 97 to a 98. Played 157 games, 34 doubles for the third straight year, but only 18 homers, 68 RBIs, 15 stolen bases, 266 average, 352 on base, 772 OPS, 6.1 WAR, and he gets his 4th straight Gold Glove award. Also, Satchel Crawford, 110 games, 188 innings, 172 strikeouts, a 3.01 ERA. He's been an all-star before. Now it's time to go to the offseason and see where those two guys go. So Roch Cholowsky does not want to re-sign with the White Sox. He has 26% interest in re-signing. He is the number 1 free agent in the class. The White Sox have made offers to both him and Satchel for 1 year, $26.5 million. But let's see what happens. A couple weeks in, still no movement. takes a little bit for the big guys to come off the board sometimes. Still nothing. It's kind of weird. I haven't seen the pop-ups or anything for any of the big free agents this offseason. And Roch is still available along with Julio Rodriguez and Satchel Crawford. So yeah, the big guys have not signed yet, as we are in February now without them signing. He's still unsigned. Okay, we finally get some signings. Cooper Ingle signs. Eric Crochet still kicking at 36. Satchel Crawford, okay, leaves the White Sox, goes to the Blue Jays. 7 years, $257 mil, 36.8 mil average annual value. Julio Rodriguez signs a 1-year deal with the Cardinals at age 35. And Roch Cholowsky comes back to the White Sox on a 1-year, $41 million deal. So he is going to try and come back, play another season, get a better season under his belt, and then hit free agency again next season. Did not get the deal he wanted, so he's getting $41 mil for a single season back in Chicago. That is insane. And he came back to a very bad team. They do bring in Peyton Tolley, former Red Sox, bounced around a bit here and there. You have Roger Woodward, good closer, but this is not a very good team that he just came back to. So Roch came back to a White Sox team that just is not very good, man. But he's going to make 40 mil this year, and then he's going to hit free agency again. So that's his plan. Let's see how he does here in what is now, season 11? Yeah, season 11. After leaving the White Sox, Satchel Crawford is now starting the All-Star game for the American League as a member of the Blue Jays. Meanwhile, Roch Cholowsky finally makes an All-Star game. Finally, at age 30. Through 95 games, he has 17 homers, 26 doubles, a 302 average, 916 OPS, already 5.2 WAR on the season. So he finally makes an All-Star game. Let's actually hop in. I want to play his first All-Star game. And he's playing at third, which is interesting because he is a shortstop, but Gunnar is, I'm guessing, the starting shortstop. So they have him playing over at third base. And also it's funny because we're playing at the Athletics Park. So the All-Star game here is literally in a minor league ballpark. Here we go. We are in our very first All-Star game. Hit on the ground hard from Connor Griffin. We'll throw over to first. And there we go, making plays in the All-Star game. Maybe we can get All-Star game MVP. That would be a really nice thing to add to Roch's resume, especially in his first All-Star game here at 30 years old. All right, guys on the corners here, no outs, but we're going to get a double play opportunity here. 5, 4, 3. No, not the second throw wasn't in time. Dadgummit. Here we go. Our first at-bat in the All-Star game here, facing James Keane. Looks like maybe a Dodgers pitcher or something, as we're going to go after the first pitch and hit it right back up the middle for a base hit. So there we go, our first hit in an All-Star game. Let's see if we can get a stolen base here in the All-Star game as well. It's in the ground. We've got it. We got the stolen base. Let's go, baby. Let's get a rally going here for the AL. We got to come back. We're down 2-0 against the NL. Let's go. Oh, that's hit, but shallow right. We're not going to be able to tag on that. Oh, that's hit. Nope. Oh, I thought that was going to get down. Oh, Gunnar puts a swing on one, and it's going to get down. And here we go. We're going to come home, and we are going to score the first run for the American League here as we cut the deficit in half. And now a great RBI opportunity here in our second at-bat facing Garrett Crochet, who's still going here. How's his career going? He's an 86 overall, 36 years old, pitching for Colorado. He spent a lot of years in Seattle, it looks like, after leaving Boston. He has 4 Cy Young Awards, along with 5 All-Star appearances. That's crazy. But we've got 2 guys on in scoring position, only 1 out. So a base hit here would probably give us the lead, and we're late on that one as it's going to go foul. So quickly in the hole 0-2 here against Crochet, and that's going to get popped up into center field. That's probably going to be enough to get 1 run home to tie the game. And oh nope, he's out. Dadgummit. Ugh. All right, back up here in the 7th, facing Leonard Sato. Down 3-1 as we're going to get a swing on that one, but not going to get enough power, I don't think. It is going to be off the wall, so we'll have ourselves a 2-out double here in the bottom of the 7th. Our second hit of the game here for the American League. Would have been nice if we could have gotten that thing just a little bit more pop on it, and it's over the fence. Oh, that ball's getting away from him. We're going to run, and we made it. Let's go. Let's go. Advancing on the wild pitch. So a base hit scores a run here. And that's going to be a base hit, and we're going to score the second run. So both runs that the AL have had today have been from us. As I don't know why he's running trying to make that a double, but we got the run at least. So it's 3-2. Top of the ninth here. 2 outs. Trying to keep it a 1-run game here on the ground. We've got it. Throw over to first. All right, let's go to the bottom of the ninth. We're probably going to get subbed out. I doubt they let us hit again. Yeah, and we're going to end up losing this one 3-2. But we got 2 hits, 2 for 3 with a double, 2 runs scored, a stolen base. Pretty good performance from us. Just no one else really did anything offensively. All right, end of season 11. The White Sox lost 98 games, so again, not a good season. But Chowolsky had it his best season. 160 games, 47 doubles, 201 hits, 47 doubles, 11 triples, 31 homers, 109 RBIs, a 311 average, a 937 OPS. He put up 9.3 WAR, goes up from a 98 to a 99. Made his first ever All-Star team, and also got his first ever Silver Slugger, as well as his 5th consecutive Gold Glove. I am curious. He also led the league in both RBIs and WAR, and finished second only to Gunnar Henderson for AL MVP. So a very good season for Roch, as for the second straight offseason, he will head into free agency, and we'll have to wait and see if the White Sox bring him back again, or if he does decide to finally move on, as the Blue Jays go on to win the World Series. So Satchel Crawford is a World Series champion in his first year away from the White Sox. So does Roch see that and it's like, hey, I could get a second World Series ring and actually, earn it this time if I leave? As Logan Webb goes into the Hall of Fame. He had just under 200 wins, but almost 3,000 strikeouts. And then Matt Olson has just over 500 home runs as he goes into the Hall of Fame. Wait, it's not showing Roch as one of the top free agents. Did he sign an extension during the season? He did sign an extension. Oh, wow. So Roch Cholowsky signs an 8-year, $283 million contract. So he'll get about $35 million a year for the next 8 years, and he's staying in Chicago, so he does not care about winning. He's getting the bag, and he's going to stay where he is the face of the franchise for the rest of his career. All right, start of season 12 for Roch, and again, he's by far the best player on this team. That does not look very good. They're rated as the 10th best team, though, so maybe, I'm kind of underrating them, and they'll actually be good this year. All right, another year, another disappointment as we finish, I believe we finished third, but still 23 games back in the division, way back in the wild card, not even close. Roch had another good season. He did regress from a 98 down to a 99. Or from a 99 down to a 98. He played all 162 games this year, 36 doubles, 6 triples, 24 home runs, 84 RBIs, a 290 average, 370 on base, 846 OPS, 7.3 WAR, and won his 6th straight Gold Glove award. So at this point, we're probably just going to sim a few seasons, and I'll probably only really hop in if anything exciting happens, if he wins an award, wins MVP, makes the playoffs or something like that. Otherwise, we'll probably just keep simming a few seasons at a time here. All right, we are in the 2040 season, and Roch Cholowsky has finally made his 2nd All-Star game after, some pretty decent seasons. None as good as that 2036 season, though, where he was 2nd in AL MVP voting and got into his first All-Star game, but we are back in another All-Star game, so finally something going good. And also we are just a half game back in the AL Central, so maybe we'll finally make the playoffs again for the first time since Roch became the starting shortstop. So at the end of the 2040 season, the White Sox won 90 games and are the #1 seed in the American League. Roch has regressed a little bit, down from a 99 to a 97 at age 34. He did play all 162 again, hit 42 doubles, 31 homers, so just his second 30 home run season, 112 RBIs, 18 stolen bases, a 268 average, 342 on base, 818 OPS, put up 7.1 WAR. He's at 65 WAR on his career. He got his 2nd All-Star appearance. He got his 9th consecutive Gold Glove, and also his 3rd career Silver Slugger over at short, which is really cool to see. So they're going to be facing the Rays in the ALDS, and we're up 2, so we win that in 4. Now facing the Yankees in the ALCS. Win game 1, win game 2. Now it's 2-2, now 3-2 Yankees lead it, and we end up losing 4 straight to the Yankees to lose the ALCS. And the Yankees do go on to win the World Series, so we don't get that 2nd World Series ring for Roch this season. season. He doesn't retire, thankfully, so we are still going. I don't expect him to retire. Bobby Witt Jr. retires after 19 years, 385 career homers. Rafael Devers retires with 2,800 hits, 638 career home runs. That is insane. I am curious, have any records been broken? It doesn't look like it. Oh, so most saves in a season has been broken by Jason Hoffman in 2039, but that is the only record that's been broken. Who the heck is Jason Hoffman? Apparently the Cardinals closer, 98 overall. He had a 63 save season. He's got a bunch of 50 save seasons. Oh, he just started. He's 31, so it took him forever to come up to the bigs. But he's only been doing this. This was just his 6th season as a closer. Was drafted in 2031 in the 2nd round. Wow, that's crazy. So that's the only record we've seen broken so far. Okay, so finally the White Sox do something to get Roch some help now that he's old and regressing. They go out and trade for Jonas Dominguez, who has apparently been an awesome outfielder for the Dodgers. He's a 2-time NL MVP, has a Hank Aaron Award, 4 All-Star appearances, 3 Silver Sluggers, and 3 home run championships. So now for the first time since Satchel left in free agency, we finally have a couple of 90 overalls on the team, as well as some other guys like a couple of 88s, 87, 86s. This is actually looking like a pretty decent team, so maybe the White Sox have positioned themselves to finally help Roch out here near the end of his career. All right, so for the second year in a row, the White Sox win 90 games and are the 1 seed in the American League. And Roch is still the best player on the team. However, he has regressed down from a 97 to a 93. Some big hits to contact, power, and clutch. He did play all 162 again. He had 31 doubles, 22 home runs, 71 RBIs, 13 stolen bases, a 255 average, 749 OPS, but still put up 5 WAR, so he's over 70 career WAR now. He won yet another Gold Glove. Let's see how we do here in the ALDS. It's going to be against the Yankees, who knocked us out in the championship series last year. And it looks like it's going to come down to game 5. And we win that. So we're now facing Boston in the ALCS. We lose the first 2 games, win the next 2. Now it's 3-2, 1 win away from going to a World Series. And there we go. We're going to the World Series. We're going to face off against the San Francisco Giants. So we lose game 1, win game 2. Win game 3, we win game 4, so we're going to hop in here, see if we can control Roch and win another World Series for him at, how old is he now, 35? Yeah, so if we can get him his 2nd World Series championship for the White Sox. There's very few players left at this point in the simulation that we are familiar with. Paul Alfiler is our starting pitcher. Here we are at shortstop, bases loaded, 2 outs here in the top of the first. Really need to get an out here. And it's on the ground to second. He's going to throw to first, and we're going to get out of it without giving up any runs. So nothing after the top of the first. And here we go up to bat, bottom of the second, 2 outs, nobody on in a scoreless game facing Robbie Lang. Oh, there we go. A nice hit, and that's going to get into the gap, and that's going to be enough for extra bases here for Chowolsky. So a 2-out double for him here, and we'll see if the bottom of the White Sox order can get something going here to get a lead as they try to close out this World Series in front of the home fans here that, went through, a good decade of not even making the playoffs, as that's hit in the air, back behind third baseman underneath it, and he'll put it away to retire side. Back up here in the bottom of the 5th, nobody on, nobody out, so we lead it 1-0 here, still facing Robbie Lang, so the starter for the Giants still in here. Roch Cholowsky, a 10-time Gold Glove winner, one of the faces of this White Sox team for a long time, is going to hit that one in the air, and that's going to be caught by the left fielder. And now we're down 2-1 as we jump to the top of the 6th. 1 away, nobody on. Ray Escalona at the plate, hits it on the ground. Here we go. We're going to throw this over, and we're going to get the out easily. All right, top of the 9th here. It's back to a tie game. Man on first. If we can get the double play here, then we can go to the bottom of the 9th and try to walk off a World Series. And the return throw is in time, so we might have a chance to walk off the World Series, and we do. Nobody on, nobody out. So we're leading off the bottom of the 9th here. Come on, give me something to hit here. 1-2 count. Need to find something to hit in the zone. There we go. That's going to get down. That's a base hit to lead off. Let's go. All right, we got to get someone behind me that can, send us home. Let's go. Roch, the face of the franchise for over a decade. while they muddled in mediocrity, is on base. And now we've got the bottom of the lineup. If they can just, get some hits, maybe draw a walk or something, just avoid striking out and grounding into double plays. That's hit into center. Center fielder under it makes the play, one away in the bottom of the ninth. They want me to steal here. Here we go. We're stealing. And we're safe. We stole. Let's go. We're in scoring position. Base hit scores us most likely. We have 60 speed, so we're still, decently fast. 2-2 count here. That's outside, so it's a full count here. Dan Burris, the former Athletic, is up. That's going to be a walk, so now there's guys on first and second, which honestly isn't that good because now it's a double play opportunity, but there's a 3-0 count on this guy, and that's high, so a 4-pitch walk. We're on third base, the winning run in the World Series. We just need a sacrifice fly into the outfield, and we are going to win the World Series. Just don't ground out here. Just hit it in the air. Anything you can do, just hit it in the air. That's hit into right field, and we're tagging. We're going. Are we going to make it? And the throw is off the mark, and there we go. The White Sox walk it off, and they're World Series champions. Roch Cholowsky is the winning run in the World Series for the White Sox. After a decade plus of nothing, of being losers, Roch decided to stay. He signed the 8-year extension, and he knew he could bring a second World Series to the White Sox, and he does it here with 2 hits in Game 5 in front of the hometown crowd. He scores the winning run, and they are champions. Roch had the 1 World Series ring, when he was the 5th guy on the bench during that run with Buxton and them, and he knew he wanted a real ring. He wanted one that he earned, that he was a part of as a player that was, playing every day, and that's exactly what he worked for the last decade. He stayed faithful to Chicago, faithful to the South Side, and now he is one of the franchise's all-time greats, delivering an all-time great performance at 35 years old. You can see him celebrating with his teammates after scoring that run. You knew there was no chance he wasn't going to attempt to tag and score there. There's Rob Manfred, still kicking here in 2042. The White Sox raise the banner. The White Sox are World Series champs. I want to see who got World Series MVP. Roch got World Series MVP. He went 350, no homers, and 1 RBI. But he does get World Series MVP because the fans awarded it and voted for it for him. And they wanted him to have it. If he doesn't retire after that, that would have been a good time to end it, right off into the sunset there. But he decides not to. Vlad Jr. does retire, though. But at 36 years old, he decides to keep going and see if they can repeat next season. All right, so following season, Roch regressed down to an 88. Still put up, pretty good numbers. 39 doubles, 19 homers, and 811 OPS. He's at a 6.2 WAR season. He's at 76 on his career. Another Gold Glove award. Actually, no, because this is 2042, so this is the first time in 11 seasons he didn't win a Gold Glove. That's interesting. So he went down from a 93 to an 88, did not win the Gold Glove at short. But the White Sox are back in the playoffs as a wild card team. They won 90 games. They've got to face Baltimore in the wild card round. They lose game 1, win game 2, lose game 3. So just like that, they're eliminated. So I think at this point, we're probably going to jump ahead probably to the end of Roch's career, unless something, crazy happens. He has a crazy rebound, a crazy season, or a deep playoff run, or if he gets traded or something, because he is still going. So he's not retiring. How many more years does he have on that contract? Because he's got to be getting near the end. So he's got 2 more seasons on the contract, 43 and 44. I figure he's going to play that out. And then if I were him, I would retire. I wouldn't go to another team. Just have the legacy of, playing your whole career with one team. That'd be really cool. All right, so here in 2043, we're back in the ALCS against Boston, and 1 game away from going back to another World Series, but instead we blow a 3-0 lead, and the ALCS and the Red Sox go on to win the World Series. Disappointing. And also, the White Sox traded for a new shortstop, so Roch is no longer the best shortstop on the team at 38 years old. He's still an 85 at 38, by the way, so he's like holding the rating about as well as anyone ever has in this game, but he is going into the final year of his contract, so we'll see what happens. But at the end of his age 39 season, Roch is down to a 77 overall, had easily the worst year of his career since he became the starter. Only 1 WAR, had 12 errors. Just, you know, he's 39. He's also a free agent, so I think this is probably the end. I don't see him getting signed in this offseason. He did not retire, so he is going to keep going. So we're just going to probably simulate until he retires at this point. So I think his days with the White Sox are done. Yeah, Roch is no longer on the White Sox. So let's go see where he is. So he's on the Pirates. Interesting. He's going to go for an age 39 season, and he's going to be on the MLB team. So he's not going to be, you know, one of those guys that spends the entire career with one team. He's going to be one of those guys that like has like an obscure one season with a different team at the very end. You know, he's sitting at just under 500 career doubles, a little over 300 homers, 2,300 hits. He's at 83 WAR. So there's really no like big milestones for him to hit. So he's just doing it, you know, because he thinks he's still got something left. We'll see how the Pirates do. First time following how the Pirates do in one of these sims. So in his 1 season in Pittsburgh, Roch played 53 games, hit 210, did get past 500 career doubles, hit 1 home run, had a 544 OPS, and lost 1.4 WAR, but he did make 9.6 mil for it. So, but he's down to a 72 overall. You gotta think this is the end. He's 40 years old now. You gotta think this is the end. The White Sox made the playoffs without him as the Diamondbacks go on to win the World Series, and he's not retiring. Ronald Acuna Jr. does though, finally, after hitting 500 career homers and 500 doubles. Jackson Holliday retires with 400 career homers. Gunnar Henderson retires. Ronald Acuna Jr. retires. Bryce Terang retires, and Corbin Carroll retires as they all go into the Hall of Fame. But Roch has not retired, so we're just gonna have to keep simulating until he does. And in 2048, 22 years after being the #1 overall pick, Roch Cholowsky finally retires at 43 years old, 56 overall. He hasn't played in 3 seasons. He finishes with over 2,200 career games played, 1,100 runs scored, 2,400 career hits, 501 career doubles, 64 career triples, 317 career home runs, over 1,000 RBIs, 169 stolen bases, a career 272 batting average, a 343 on base, 451 slug, and a 794 OPS. He also finishes with 81.6 career WAR, including a 9.3 WAR season in 2036. He finishes with 2 All-Star appearances, 10 consecutive Gold Gloves, 3 Silver Sluggers, 2 World Series rings, and a World Series MVP. Now the question is it enough for him to make the Hall of Fame? And it is. He goes into the Hall as one of the greatest defensive shortstops of all time. Goes in alongside Ellie De La Cruz, who had 427 homers and 653 stolen bases, along with 2,700 career hits, Max Clark, J.J. Weatherholt, and Julio Rodriguez. So a very interesting class. J.J. Weatherholt hit 500 career homers in his career in this sim. That's crazy. I'm actually interested. Were there any more records broken? We know the single season saves record was broken, but that was the only one that got broken in this simulation. So there you have it, folks. That is the Roch Cholowsky career simulation. I know I probably butchered his name 1,000 times. You can kill me for it in the comments. I know. I went back and forth on the pronunciation a lot. I even looked it up and I still couldn't keep consistent with it. I know, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more future videos, and let me know what other MLB draft picks from the 2026 draft you want to see me simulate the career of. I have a couple others in mind that I want to do, especially some Razorbacks that got drafted, because there were quite a few Razorbacks drafted pretty early in this year's draft. But let me know, and also let me know which team you want me to rebuild coming up, because the trade deadline is coming up. There's going to be a lot of moves going on, and I plan on doing some rebuilds over that. And also, if you like football content, I know college football just came out. Madden's going to be coming out soon. We do have a channel similar to this for football content. It's called SGO Gridiron. I just put up a Colts rebuild as well as the episode 1 of a Darren McFadden Road to Glory. So go check that out if you like football content. But thank you all again so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.